Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back with a live stream. I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get Edgewater Saskatchewan up and running tonight. How is everyone doing today? It's Tuesday, right? I'm losing track of the days. I know it's a school day. That's all I know anymore. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Got a lot of people in chat already, which is exciting. Let me see if I can give some shout outs here. Andrea Murphy, how you doing? Nebraska Trains, how you doing? Jake, Levi Farms, Pleasant View Farms, how's it going, sir? Good to see ya. Living on a Player, howdy, howdy. Glad to see some moderators on tonight. Johnny Popper, good to see ya. I haven't been streaming over here very often. I did a few streams over on the Kedrick Builds channel last week. Just needed a little bit of a change of pace. But I'm excited to be hopping into some Farm Sim tonight. And I'm also excited to get back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan. I have been getting a lot of people asking me to pick this series back up. We've been having a lot of fun on UMRV. In fact, we've got some fun episodes of UMRV coming out tomorrow. Had a fun adventure recording this next episode, but I want to get back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan. I was having a blast on this map, and I haven't had a chance to really get it to where I want it to be. So we're going to hop into this tonight and figure out what's going on. I don't even know. It's been 4 months since I looked at this save, so it's going to be crazy. Perma's modding on today. How you doing? Glad to see ya. South Park 48, how you doing, man? Living country. Hi from Jupiter. Well, nice to meet you. We are going to... Let's see, we're going to walk around here. Let's start by reminding ourselves what kind of equipment we own, what kind of fields we own. If I hop into the map here and just blow this up for a second, that's right, we've got all the fields around the farm, a field across the road, and a field way over on the other side of the highway here. That's a good deal. And then we're going to take a look here at our owned items. Let me check leases. That's right. We've got this big versatile on lease. We had the big drill on lease. And then I've got the box for the fertilizer spreader on lease. What's this doing? Oh, no, don't return it. Purchase. 50,000. Not bad. I'm tempted to just buy that, but we're not going to spend any money just yet. We'll see what's going on. I've got a lot of money in the bank. I think we ended the last episode selling everything off out of the bins. If we pop open the menu here, yeah, the only thing we've got left anymore is solid fertilizer. I love it. I love it. Carson, how you doing? Spencer Ash, it's been going well. It's been busy. And Farmer Trio, always good to see you. Always good to see ya. Well, we're in what month? We're in June. What's our crops looking like on this save? My goodness, it's like a whole new game for me. It's been so long since I've played this. Everything is in a growth stage. Everything appears to be sprayed. That's good news. And it looks like we've got lentils, flax, and peas, with some canola in the other parts. All right, so that's good. I'm trying to remember which crops get swathed anymore. Let me find that. Is that going to be under harvester headers? I'm curious if this thing's going to tell me. That's flax, I think. I'd assume one of these is canola. I was looking for the header itself. Maybe that's under mowers? There it is. For swath ready maps, it doesn't tell me which crops it can do. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. Here we go. And it looks like we've got some people spamming chat there. Let's knock that off if we could. Pleasant View Farms, excited to see a Pleasant View mod on the mod hub. I am. I saw that you've got something coming there. We messaged, I don't know if it was on Facebook or Discord at this point, but yes. I'm excited to see an official Pleasant View Farms map, or not a map, but a mod on coming to the mod hub. I'm going to go ahead and start moving some equipment around. The yard's a little bit of a mess right now. And my steering wheel doesn't seem to be doing anything. Oops. Oops. We've pushed the wrong button and lost a stream deck in the process. Give me just a second. This is what happens when you don't stream for so long. Steering wheel seems to be initializing. There we go. And let's see if I can get the gears to work on the stream deck. Perfect, perfect. Caleb, how you doing? I'm going to be streaming for at least a couple of hours here is my plan. I usually go for 2, depending on how well my voice holds out. We're going to run this semi way into the ditch there. Not my intent. All right, let's get all this stuff back out of the way so I can move around in the yard here. I think harvesting is going to be coming up pretty quick here. We're going to be skipping a few days. I could probably even be running that clock forward. We just looked. We don't have any crops we need to sell or anything too crazy. Range up. Do I have a button for that? I do. Look at that. We don't have any vehicles that have ranges on the UMRV save right now, I don't think. So I'm remembering where all the buttons are here. It's not quite like riding a bike. I do forget how to do things. I'm getting old. Can't remember all these different key combinations, especially when I've been playing other things recently. One last vehicle here. We're going to put this grain cart back in the shed, get it out of my way, or maybe I'll just pull it off to the side here. What I'm trying to do is get to a point where we can, ooh, it got dark fast. We can hook the auger up and set it in front of the bins here. That's the goal, at least. We've got a lot of vehicle leasing costs and a huge loan right now, though. So maybe we should be actually taking a look at those finances and paying those down before we go too far down the line here, because those costs are going to start to add up. This I know I can purchase. We're going to keep that no matter what. This tractor I could probably also purchase. There we go. And that should drastically reduce how much we're paying every day as we move the time forward here. We do have the Bobcat in there. Yeah, we've got all this stuff is good to go. Let me take a look at the calendar now and figure out where we're trying to get to. It looks like maybe August. Nope, I don't have any of the crops for August. Oh yeah, I do. We've got peas and lentils coming up here in August. That's awesome. We just got to get through to August, and it looks like I'm not running as many days on this particular save as I am on some of the other ones, so that'll make things a little bit easier. I think peas and lentils are both going to be combined crops. I don't believe I'm going to be swathing those, so I'm going to come in here and see if we can disconnect this PTO. Looks like I've got manual attach on here. Amazing. And I do apologize. I'm ignoring chat just a little bit here while we figure out what's going on. I think I left my combine header over on the other side of the road here. Logan, how you doing? Mad Weasel, are the cheeseburgers in demand at the restaurant? Are there cheeseburgers on this map? I don't think I've checked what the productions are on Edgewater. We did just update the map, though. I'm really hoping that updating the map didn't mess up our field layouts and stuff. And I guess I haven't checked if we still have our precision farming data. It looks like we do. Just checking here. Well, there is all kinds of stuff on here, but no restaurants or anything on this particular map, it doesn't look like. Dan, how's it going? Always good to see you. I am trying to figure out what's going on in this series. I'm going to go up here to see where our peas and lentils are. That's the green and the red ones here. So green being the peas, these two fields. We'll probably go ahead and take the field next to the farm here first. And can I sleep inside of a vehicle? It doesn't look like I can. Let me just skip the night here while we're moving around. Trayton, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. You're catching me on a kind of a welcome back stream. I haven't been doing a lot of streaming in the last several months. We've been busy. We've been all over the place. Various vacation travels, and oh, scraped up the side of the truck there. I'm gonna have to find the crash counter. Does this button do the crash counter now? It does. Look at that. We're already doing crash counters on the stream. That's awesome. We are trying to figure out what's going on this save. This is a save I haven't touched in 4 months because I've been all over the place dealing with vacations and moving kids into college and all that good stuff. We just ran into that fence too, so we're up to 2 crash counters tonight. Faber Farming, always good to see you, man. Hope you've been well. I see you've been doing a lot of streaming yourself. I saw that you're over on Twitch now, so hopefully that's been treating you well. King Sim, I'm doing good. We're moving the clock forward here. I need 1 more day to get some crops ready to harvest here. I think that's the plan tonight. We're just going to jump right into harvest. I've got a whole bunch of money sitting in the wallet, though, that doesn't make any sense. We might as well pay down our loan as we're moving things forward. And I suppose if we're going to have the combine sitting there ready to go, we might as well grab that grain cart again and bring that over. Not sure where I left that thing. There it is. We've got, I know quite a few people that have started playing Starfield of late, myself included. I've been streaming that every, once or twice a week here now, since it came out, I guess a couple of times, over on the other channel, the Kedrick Builds channel. I see we've got a couple of the moderators have been playing, which is awesome. Looks like everything's working good with the steering wheel over here still for streaming. I'm glad. I had to switch everything over right before the stream in a kind of a hurry, so I'm excited that stuff seems to be working out for us tonight. I updated all the mods, including the map, right before the stream, which is always a risk, but it seems to be working out. And this should have our peas being ready to harvest. We're going to drop that time back down. I am going to cheese out at halftime until we know what's going on here, since we're getting used to everything still. There we go. And right off into the peas. Now, I don't think peas can do straw. I'm not seeing an option for it, so that makes life easier. I don't think the peas or the lentils are going to do a straw. It won't be until we start swathing, I think, that I can get a straw path out. Let's see if I can open this field up without getting full. I don't know. Peas seem to be actually fairly voluminous of a crop. Once again, I feel like in the series, when we were playing this 4 months ago now, that I was getting used to all of the crops. We'd harvested the new crops on this map a few times, and now I feel like I'm starting all over again. Dog 105, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Spencer, is it dry where we are? No, actually, we've had quite a bit of rain. I don't know from a agricultural perspective how the crops are doing, because we're kind of in a populated area, so I don't get out near fields very often. But this past weekend, the weekend before, I was out in Minnesota, southern Minnesota, for my niece's wedding, and there were already people harvesting there a week ago, which was crazy for me to see a bunch of combines out in the field taking some headlands and stuff off, which is really cool. Levi Farms, we're hitting the peas right now. We do have lentils to do next, but I wanted to knock these peas out first, and then I'm not even sure if that's wheat across the ditch from us there. That's not our field, that is the neighbor's field. But depending on how harvest goes here, we might have to pick up a couple more fields on this map pretty soon here. Spencer, you guys haven't had rain in weeks? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, in southern Michigan here, southeast Michigan, we've had some decent weather, a little bit of rain, nothing too crazy. I had a few crazy experiences, man, about 3-4 weeks ago. We had some crazy storms, and I've lived here for 8 years and we've never had storms like this. And so we lost one of our vehicles. My wife tried to drive through some standing water, and the vehicle stalled out in that water, and so we've been dealing with having no car for a few weeks here. We ended up having to buy a new one, and we're waiting on the other one to get a engine replacement put in. So it's just been a crazy few weeks for me trying to deal with all of that while we've got the kids going back to school and after school activities all starting up and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, Dan, I don't disagree. I need to do more live streaming. I'm looking forward to getting back into a schedule. I'd really like to get back to doing farming live streams twice a week here. Maybe mix in some ATS somewhere in those. But yeah, hopefully now that we're back to the school schedule and life is a little bit more routine, my streaming schedule will start to be a little bit more predictable. They've been cutting corn in central Illinois this week. Yeah, I heard out in South Dakota as well, some people have started poking around with the corn a little bit here this week as well. Yeah, Permas came out and visited me not too long ago here as well. So that was always fun, getting to meet up with him in person again. He and I had gotten together once before. So always good to get to hang out with some people in real life for a change. I feel like one of the weird parts about being on YouTube and streaming and stuff is making a lot of connections with people, but not getting to meet a lot of them. That was one of the fun parts for me of getting to go to the Farm Progress show a couple years back and meeting a lot of people in the community. I did not make it out this year. I was hoping to, but I just didn't make it out to the Farm Progress show this year. Too many things going on. Levi Farms, you guys have been going full ham on corn, wheat, and beans and sugar beets. Yeah, it seemed like Minnesota was just hopping when I was out there. I was in Rochester for a long weekend. Andrea Murphy, good console maps. I will always recommend Edgewater Saskatchewan here. That's the map that I'm playing on right now. And this is a console map. And I've loved this map. I would strongly recommend playing on this. I'm almost full here. I don't want to get too full, so I think what I'm going to do is actually just back up here, and we're going to take one more pass out of this corner. See if I can make our lives a little bit easier by just getting rid of all this wonky business. There we go. King Sim, what's my favorite map? That's always a hard one for me. In FS22, I mean, I've played on a lot of maps. I would say that I've been enjoying UMRV a lot. We're on to episode 50, I think, or if we didn't post 50, 50 is the one that's going to post tomorrow. So that's probably been my longest series on FS22 now. As far as favorite map, though, man, I don't know. I love Edgewater. That's one of the reasons why I decided to come back to this map rather than just starting a new one. I've also really enjoyed the Westby 4X map. We put a bunch of hours into that early on. That one's been a lot of fun. I'm sure there's other maps out there that I've enjoyed. Unlike a lot of people, I don't get the chance to play a lot of different maps. I was trying to start streaming on different maps every week just to get a chance to try new maps out, but I haven't kept up with that, obviously, so I need to get out there and try a few more maps. I think I backed down like a whole row of peas there while I was talking, but we're gonna just ignore that. Here we go. Yeah, 50 episodes tomorrow. That's just crazy. I don't think it's the longest I've made in a series before, but it's pretty close. Getting to 50 is a lot of episodes for me. I don't normally make it that far. I tend to want to move on to the next cool map. I have to say, though, with FS22, I've had a hard time finding maps that I felt were my style. And maybe part of it's that I'm kind of out of touch with all of the stuff going on in the farm sim world because I've been gone for most of the last 4 months, and I just need to go out there and check out some new maps. I know I've had a few recommendations. I put out a post on the community on YouTube to see what people recommended, so I've got a short list of maps to check out. I will say I'm looking for a nice big map that's got a decent amount of detail. I really want to get into some larger equipment in one of my upcoming series. I've been working on putting together the list of equipment, which for me always takes a really long time, I feel like, to get the equipment for a series all lined up how I want it and all the different mods and stuff. I don't like having just a giant mod folder full of 1,000 different mods that cause problems. So we might be starting off some new things here soon. I've heard Big Flats, Texas a few times though, and that one I'm probably gonna end up checking out just because I would love to do some cattle instead of doing dairy. I've done dairy in quite a few of my series now so far, and so I think a big cattle farm could be interesting as a bit of a change of pace. I always forget that this combine, the header sticks a little bit when you stop and start. A little bit of ground friction there. Julie, can you read my comment? I've never had your comment read before. I will read. Let's see, I need to go back a few. Over here in New York, you started potatoes. That's cool. Yeah, I know New York, they do a fair amount of root crops. I know they do potatoes in the Minnesota area as well, because we used to have a potato field that was just south of one of the fields that we used to farm in. I think sugar beets are more popular here in the Michigan area, but I've never actually been out in the field to kind of witness that sugar beet harvesting firsthand. I know a lot of people see more that pull-behind style harvester for the potatoes and sugar beets and such. In Michigan, though, I've seen some of those big Holmers and stuff, which is cool. I always thought of those as EU-only type machines, but I've seen them rolling around in the fields out here in Michigan now, so I'm tempted to do a Michigan farm of some kind. I know there's a couple of Michigan maps, and do some sugar beet farming just to mix it up one of these days. Spruce Mountain Farms, that's a good one. I don't think I've actually checked that one out. Iowa Plains View, I've done a live stream on a couple of times now. It's an okay map. It's more I don't know if, is it a console map or not? I can't remember, but it felt more like that to me, but I might have to check that out again. I know American Falls finally came out for all platforms. I had the PC version, which got pulled down, and there was a bunch of, I don't know, I don't want to say drama like in a bad way, but there's just a lot going on with that map. And I ended up choosing not to run a series on it at the time, but now I'm also looking at that as maybe a fun map to go back to. Mr. Junt, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. King Sim, what's my favorite farm sim YouTuber? So I'll say there's two answers to that, or maybe three names I'd throw out there. I would start by saying Daggerwin is actually the person who I started watching and got into farm sim kind of because I came across his videos randomly one day. I wasn't even aware farm sim was a thing until I came across his videos. So he's always kind of had a special place in my heart. But then as far as the only farm sim YouTubers that I actually watch and keep up with are the Farm Sim Guy and Argsy, just because they've been such good friends of the channel. Good community members, and I don't necessarily watch all of their videos, but I do try to keep up with those guys. And then there's a bunch of really good people in the community that have been awesome to hang out with. Obviously, you know, DJ Goham and Clutch Simulations have been a couple of people that I've hung out with a lot, and they're great guys. Faber Farming here as one of my moderators. He's been a long-standing community member and you know, trying to get into the YouTube streaming area as well. So, you know, there's just lots of good names out there, so it's hard to pick just one. Yeah, the squad, Levi Farms. So working with Grant on all of this American farming stuff, I hear enough of his voice all day, every day, that I wouldn't be able to stand watching his videos after work. So it would just be too much for me. Too much for me. Yeah, Andrea, the Millennial Farmer map, when/if that comes out, that'll be a map I'll check out for sure. I enjoyed that a lot in FS19, which is where I played that for a long time. So I'll be really curious to see what they do with that in 22 here. I'm gonna see if I can get lined back up. I'm trying to get on the straight and narrow here. I'm gonna turn GPS off and let the worker take over. Figure out what my tab order is here. And I'm going to run down here with the grain cart real quick, see if we can empty this thing out before it gets to the end row. I should have probably gone the other way, but I'm going to see if I can sneak around and catch up with him. I'm in high range. This is as fast as we go. Bouncy, bouncy. Levi Farms, yeah, I've been one of the lead developers on the American farming game for over 2 years now, actually. Here in September, I met Grant for the first time a couple of years ago. We didn't quite make it. Oh, this thing has no brakes. I mean, probably realistic, we got a lot of grain in this cart, but I wasn't quite ready for it. Julie, Kedrick, you gotta go to sleep. All right, well, you have a good one, sir, and we'll talk to you later. Spencer, it'd be good haying weather if the grass would grow. Yeah, for sure. I've heard quite a few people actually wishing for some rain. Now, I should probably keep that auger arm in until I get past all these trees up here. I could bring the truck out to the yard here, but I think we're going to, or out of the yard here, but I think what we're going to do is sneak around and just try to unload right here where I've got it parked. I think we can get this auger out now. Let's see if we can do this one in cab. Oh, we've got that tractor right in the way. That's all right. Front wheel assist and rear duals help the tractor pull the cart. Yeah, this setup needs to be upgraded. This little white was a lot of fun when we were starting out, but our farm has started to grow quite significantly. I could probably use to upgrade both the grain cart and the tractor at this point. Farmer Trio, do I still have my Millennial Farmer soundboard? I do somewhere. I don't know if I've got them handy here, but I'm sure I do. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, we've still got it. We were having so much fun on that Millennial Farmer map that I had to take all the sound bites and put them on a soundboard. Alright, let's see if I can catch back up with that combine. We didn't get him emptied out, and he's almost full, 80%. Luckily, I think I can squeeze back out between the trees over here. We'll come down a few rows here where there's a bigger gap. There we go. And the combine is actually coming back down towards me, which will make my life a little bit easier. If I can just get down behind him and start unloading quickly. I want to get there before he stops so that we can unload on the go. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Go, go, go. We're in position. Can the arm get out before he gets full? All right, we did it, folks. That hill is slowing the combine down, though, a little bit. That's all right. Whew, that was closer than I thought. Doug, good evening. Joined the channel this week. Really enjoy your content. Hey, Ann, I appreciate it. You know, the channel members are probably the thing that has kept this channel going as long as it's gone. You guys supporting the channel like that, keep things interesting, keep things moving with me having fast enough internet for live streams and stuff. The costs add up, so I really appreciate when you join the channel like that and throw some support my way. If you've got Discord, jump on the Discord server. There's a members only chat room where I try to answer all the chats in there for sure. I try to answer all the chats in Discord in general, but a little bit better access. And we do have a couple of multiplayer servers that we're running right now. We've got the UMRV Bring Your Own Farm edition set up and running, and we've also got American Falls running on one of the multiplayer servers for the channel members. And then, thanks to me being a G-Portal partner, get all my sponsor stuff out of the way here, they have kindly given me enough credits to host a couple of servers for the community, so we're running a community server right now, which I can't remember what map that's on at the moment, but that's open to anybody on the Discord server. I need a Kilbros 1600. I might actually have that mod on here. I think you're talking about the grain cart here. I did put this on here to upgrade to at some point, so I might have to try that out. That's 27 cubic versus 17. Yeah, this is quite a bit bigger. I've also got the Parker on here, but I was gonna get this Kilbros next. It's not too terribly expensive. We might have to make that switch. I'm just wondering if this white can pull that or not. We might need to swap it out, put the other tractor on there at some point. I do have that versatile four-wheel drive now we could do that with. We're going to unload the combine again on the way down here, though, just because we didn't quite finish before we got to the end row there. Bucks County was a fun map. We ran that on the community server for a little while. And Lord Dragon, I'm also very excited for the Millennial Farmer map to come out. That was a one of my favorite maps in FS19. Spencer, am I going to put this into the bins? I am, but in order to do that, I need to get all the augers and stuff set up. We've got that drive over auger that BC Bueller did, which works out really well. I just need to go get that all set up. That was one of the reasons I was moving a lot of equipment around at the beginning of the stream, trying to make sure that we could get to the bins. And we're all filled up here. I suppose what I should do is just set the semi up right over the auger so I can just run this up and dump it into the semi and have the semi start dumping right into the bin. I've got 2 fields of peas here. I'm trying to figure out how big of a bin I want to use for our peas. If I remember right, we kind of had the wrong crops in the wrong bins last year, and I'm trying to think of a way to make sure we do this a little bit better. My memory barely works for the episode to episode. Trying to remember what we were doing 4 months ago has been a little bit more interesting. I'm going to look at the landscaping or construction menu here to get a feel for how big those bins were again. That's not the ones we got. West Steel Roscoe bins. Here we go. We've got either 130,000 or 160,000 liter bins. And then I got a whole bunch of these other bins on here too. Man, I think that the peas are going to fit in one of these smaller bins. Got all kinds of deer running around here. All right. Wheeling it over here. I do have to also get the top of the bin opened up, if I remember correctly. This particular open cover. There we go. I like the extra realism on some of these mods. Looks like my front hoppers are already full. I'm gonna pull this through. No, well, I was gonna say I should just disconnect this trailer since we're not really hauling it back and forth from the field, but maybe we need to start doing that. We're about to jump across the road and start harvesting the peas over there anyway, so it probably makes sense to bring this semi over across the road with us. Oh, I forgot also, I'm not dumping this directly into the auger. I need to get that other piece pulled over here. Now, I can't remember if I can drive this or if I should just pick it up and move it over here. This is the Soaring Eagle, and I just want to make sure it's unfolded, so that means we're in a good spot for it to unload. Let's see if I've got it lined up close enough here. I'm not going to try and use auto drive or anything crazy tonight. There's the peas going into here. And they're going into there, and they're going into the bin. I think everything looks good. Yeehaw. Well, with that, let me run this over to the other field. I'm pretty sure that combine's done right now. And I'm gonna get that moved across the road here and start hitting the other field of peas that we've got. And yeah, I'm looking forward to actually trying to run some different brand equipment here. That Kloss Lexicon 600, that would be a fun mod to try out. I don't know that I've run that, at least not anytime recently. So I look forward to my next big series. Big equipment series is coming next after we wrap things up on UMRV here, or maybe in parallel. I haven't decided yet, but I've been working on pulling the mod list together for that this week. Artemis, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna leave that running. We're gonna need it sooner than later because I think there's a bunch of peas left in this combine. Oh, it looks like I missed a little section of the field over here. We'll speed things up and zip across the field. Sometimes I find it easier to just run fast rather than try and tab through all of my equipment. Farmer Trio, how many more episodes will UMRV be? So my goal with UMRV is to get completely out of debt. Now that we've got twice as many cows making milk, that's going to happen a lot faster than I thought. So I'm going to start paying down a lot of our leases and our loans and try to get our loan at least completely out of debt, because I want to bring our assets forward with us, i.e. I'm going to sell off all the stuff on the farm and use that to start a large equipment farm for our next save. That's where my mind is at. That's one of those things that Daggerwin used to do in his series, probably still does. Like I said, I don't actually get a chance to watch his stuff anymore, but I always kind of like that idea of carrying my farm forward with me. And so we're going to try and do that, because when I started UMRV, we started that map by bringing our assets forward from, Farmville, the Farmville map. And that would make it the third map that I've brought those assets forward with, and it'd be a natural progression to go into some really large-scale farming. So I think that's the plan. I left that other tractor running because I thought we were about to jump right across the road. Didn't realize there was quite so much left to harvest over here. That's all right. We've got plenty of room. Lord Dragon, you're from Michigan as well. Nice. TJM Farming, a good day to you, sir. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, we're looking off into nowhere. Get this last bit of peas picked up here. And then I think we've just got to go out the driveway over here, because trying to skirt around those trees seems like kind of a pain. I'm pretty sure there's a driveway exit right on the other end of this field. Look at the fuel level on my combine. That's a problem. Partially because we used to have a fuel tank on the back of our truck that we were running back and forth from town with our fuel. And I don't have anything like that now. So fuel is about to be a problem. We might have to buy a fuel tank. I want to say there's a fuel trailer in the base game, but we lost our truck, I think, to a mod switch. I don't know if we've even got a pickup truck right now is the problem. So let me get started here. Let me at least take out a bit of the end row here, give us some room. I'm hoping I've got enough fuel to putz around with this a little bit. I want to be able to get the semi out here so that we can unload into it with the grain cart. And then we'll go figure out our fuel situation. Maybe we'll get Courseplay to do this field so that it can be working on the headlands while we go get fuel in a fuel trailer. That might be the way to do it. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna unload this while we're sitting here, and then we'll get courseplay started. And if I have a fuel trailer, I don't care if it runs out of fuel, because we'll be able to catch up to it. Although courseplay probably won't do anything because it's too close to being out of fuel. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, it's been a good start to getting back into this series. I was a little worried that we were going to run into all kinds of mod problems with how many mods I had to update, especially because I know the patch that happened, I don't even know, a month or two ago, broke a lot of mods. I'm going to put this guy on the field. We've got courseplay opened up here. And let's just see if we can do this quick and easy. Courseplay field work. Field position right there. Oh man, I forget this is such a crazy field. Generate 2 headlands. Generate field work course. Yeah, it's not liking the size of this field, or the shape of this field, I should say. We'll see how long this takes. I did update courseplay, so it shouldn't take too long. Courseplay's been working really good, even on this map. Maybe? Well, maybe we've made some mistakes. We'll find out in just a couple of minutes here. What's my favorite truck? So I'll say my favorite truck mod is the Ford Super Duty that Northwest Mods and Edits released. That truck has worked really good. I like it. It has a lot of features, and I've just enjoyed using that mod a lot. In real life, I'm more of a Chevy guy. That's just the vehicles I've always driven. I've been able to secure a GM discount for most of my life, so that's the vehicle of choice. And it looks like the course already finished generating, and it looks like a reasonable course to boot. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Go, first waypoint. Could not find a refuel station. Oh, that's right. Course play, don't worry about fuel. I thought there was a setting. There we go. Go forth and do. We've got less than 5% fuel left, is what that's telling me. I'm gonna tab through our available vehicles. Yeah, so this is the problem. I used to have a truck on this save. I had the Ford Super Duty actually on this save. And when I updated it, there was a big update to the truck. And I think one of the options on my truck got removed, and the truck didn't load back into the game. And I never bothered to fix it. It's probably still there and just not loading in for some reason. And I never bought a new truck on this save. Do I have the mod? I do have the mod installed. But now we're in that unenviable position where I have to take out a loan to buy the truck that I already own, which is unfortunate. We'll take out 100K. I'm gonna get us a truck. I do not want the flatbed. I want this. There's no fuel box on this option. Just making sure we need all the hitches. I don't have any cows or anything, so I can go with more of a straight up colors here, or a straight up configuration. And I want to go for something that's a little different color than the other one that we've got. Where's my decal? There we go. Looking good. I think this is actually, I don't know if this is the updated version of this truck. I think I might have forgot to bring the update over, so we're already using a out-of-date version. That's okay. This worked good enough for me. And if I come in here and come over here, double checking, I don't have another one. Oh, this is where the fuel tank is an option now where I can load this up in the back as a separate mod here. It's on a pallet. But instead of that, I think I'm going to get the fuel trailer because I don't have a front loader. $30,000. Hang on, what was this again? $3,000? I've got $3,000. I don't have $30,000, so here we go. We'll see if we can figure out how that thing works. Now, I don't know. I didn't read the patch notes on this or anything, so we're about to figure this out. If it's something that I can attach, or if it's just literally a pallet. Oh my goodness. Well, there's another crash counter for y'all. So if I put this up in the back here, am I going to get an option to snap this in? There it is. I did get it. Where'd it go? There we go. Good old manual attach. I can't seem to get in the truck though. There we go. Let's do it. Now that's a slick option, but that's the one that I had trouble with when I changed things over, as I had the version of this truck that had the gas tank as part of the truck, and then when I did the update, my truck just disappeared. So I'm glad to get everything set back up and working now. Johnny Popper, oh, thank you. You're explaining to me how it works, and I'm just not watching chat. I'm fumbling through things as always. I appreciate the assistance though. And I can't remember for sure. Whoa, that was close. The gas station is up here though, I think. So we'll see how this works. This truck is a little loud on the outside. We're going to go on the inside here. I'm trying to read chat and drive like a crazy person here. This was not a road. This was a field driveway. My bad. Let's try that again. At least I think it's not a road. Yeah, this isn't a road. All right, let's try this again. There's a road up here somewhere. Living on a player also bet his favorite tractor being the 8RX. There you go. Yes, sirree. The John Deere 8RX. Although I have to say that new case quad track is looking pretty snazzy. I can't wait to see that. I didn't get a chance to get out to the Farm Progress show and see it in person, but I've seen a lot of pictures of it. I've seen a lot of pictures of it. It looks good. We're trying to remember where the gas station is now. I want to say it's going to be on my left. Do my blinkers work? Not that I would ever bother using them. Oh, those are gear shifters right now. Okay, I can't go to the right anyway, so I guess we're turning left. This is why, because Kedrick doesn't navigate. Yeah. How's the oldest in college going? Tim, it's been crazy. So we've seen him a couple of times since the dropping him off, and it's been great. He's doing good. It's just weird having him gone, where we're just so used to talking to him every day. And, you know, not that we were doing a lot of stuff with him. He was a senior in high school, so he was kind of doing his own thing anyway. But it's just weird not having him be here all the time anymore. But he's doing really good. He's liking all of his classes. And you know, he's got a roommate that he knew in high school, so from that perspective, everything's going great. I think we're going to try and go out there again next weekend and just have dinner with him. I'm looking forward to November. There's a family day at University of Michigan, and the whole family gets to go out and go to the game. So we're going to go see the football game. I think they're playing Purdue, and we'll go out there and, whoa, crash into all kinds of stuff. We'll get to go out there and and go to the game with him and do a bunch of activities and stuff. So looking forward to that as well. I'm going to blame my steering wheel, and I should probably take another crash counter there. I've got a huge dead zone on the steering wheel right now because I turned it on after I launched the game. So that's been a little bit of a struggle tonight. That's why our turning is very unresponsive right now. Trevor, how you doing? I appreciate the kind words. I've been trying to get back into more regular video content the last couple of weeks. It's been slowly ramping up here. I'm trying to actually juggle doing it across 2 channels right now, just because I'm getting close to having my second YouTube channel monetized. So balancing videos on both channels. This is not our driveway. Throw this thing into reverse here real quick. Still learning this map after being away for so long. But my goal is to get back, hopefully, to at least daily videos throughout the week, Monday through Friday, and having some live streams out there on Tuesdays and Thursdays like I used to do. So we'll just have to keep playing with it and seeing how we do on the schedule. But it does encourage me that even after such a long break and time away from YouTube, that so many people like to come back and watch the videos. I've been impressed with how many people are still enjoying the UMRV series 50 episodes in. So that's been a lot of fun for me. And as long as everyone watching is still having fun and enjoying the series, I'll keep putting the videos out. Rank 29 Ag, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, man. I see the combine way over here with his auger out, stuck in the woods. We're gonna try and make our way all the way around here to catch up. If he'd just gotten back to this point here, we could have, filled him up with diesel. It looks like actually, though, he's probably not out of fuel, but full. Maybe this would be easier if I went in cab. There we go. We keep losing the camera in the trees. I'm trying to be fast about this to get out here quickly and get that combine moving, but in hindsight, we probably need to be getting the grain cart out here, not the fuel truck. If I remember right, the fuel trigger is on the left-hand side of this truck. I don't seem to be able to get into a vehicle. Let me make sure flight mode is turned off. Why can't I get into a vehicle? Like pressing E to enter a vehicle is not working for me. So I guess we're gonna have to tab around. I can't, yeah, I know I need to refuel the vehicle. I'm trying. Let me try and move. Yeah, I can't push E to get into a vehicle. What happened? Drop object. Oh, did I accidentally pick up the combine? I'm gonna back up a little bit here. See if maybe if I get to the side of the combine a little bit more, if that'll allow me to refuel better. Oh. Let's try and drop this down a few gears. There's the refuel point. I love it. All right, we didn't actually get fully full here. So I think what I'm going to do is fire this back up and take this corner. I'm not going to make it around the corner, am I? We're going to try. I gotta see how far we get with the 4% that's left. And then go from there. There's just no way I get up to where we can get that grain cart through, though. That's the secret hope, but it's worth a shot. Robert, will you ever show how the game American Farming is developed, like what you exactly do as a game developer? I would love to. That's not really up to me, though. That's more of a Grant Hilbert thing. He has to sign off on that. We talked about it at one point a while back. I really wanted to do dev streams where we would get together as a dev team and kind of show off work in progress stuff on the game and just kind of include people with the process along the way, especially after we knew we weren't going to hit our original kind of go live target, but we decided against that as a team. And so that's probably not going to happen before launch, but I am working on a couple of other game development projects on my own right now. Being self-employed, that's one of the fun things, is that I've got quite a few different things going on, and I'm tempted to actually start up a YouTube channel and just start making videos about my progress doing game dev as an indie game developer, which would be a lot of fun to kind of show things off. But I know people on this channel would probably be mostly interested in the American Farming stuff specifically, which unfortunately I wouldn't be able to show off since I'm under an NDA on that, so I can't really talk about anything that's not already been made available to the public at this point. But who knows? It might change in the future. Spencer, thanks for hanging out tonight. Have a good one. Tim, good to hear about the son. I can relate about a significant change in the household, promoting a different overall feeling. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting as I think both my wife and I are handling it in different ways, but we've definitely been missing having the kids in the house. And it's the same, you know, when you have new kids come into the house as well, right? So it's just been one of those things. It's different. It's not necessarily bad. It's just different. I'm not seeing any grain come out over here. Oh, because I didn't leave the combine running. There we go. And while that starts to unload, I might as well come over here and move this out of the way and shut it back off. No sense leaving it running. I am going to not try to drive it all the way around the outside of the field just yet. I'm going to wait until we can drive out the easy way right here. Should put row duals on the white. That might help a little bit. Oh, it looks like the grain cart might be full already. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get over here. I'm going to get back on course, and we're going to go for the nearest waypoint here. And then as soon as this combine gets stuff out of the way for me, clears me a path, we're going to run this back up and bring the semi out here to start unloading into so that I don't have to deal with running this thing all the way across the road every time. There we go. If only he'd made it this far before, we could have saved ourselves a lot of time running around tonight. That's okay. I do love this tractor when you're in cab. I feel like it's got that right mix of the bounce when you're in cab, when you're hitting the bumps and stuff, and all the dash detail and stuff looks really nice on it. I like it. Are we using C# in our development? Yes. Yep. I have been a C# developer for, man, the last 15 years of my professional career. So that fit in very nicely with the game development, being that we're building the game on the Unity platform right now, which with all the stuff going on in the way Unity is doing things right now, that decision may be an interesting one to follow through on over the next few weeks to months here, waiting to see what Unity's going to do with this big billing change that they want to make. I will say the internet in general has really gotten upset with Unity over there. The way that they handled the change as well as what they're doing with it. So the game development space right now is kind of gone crazy. It's really blowing up with a lot of drama around that. So I can't wait to see how that all shakes out. Waylon, you got to go. See you later, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out in the stream tonight. Let's toss some extra gears on this thing and get it moving. King Randy, how you doing, man? I kind of need the combine to get down here and finish taking the headlands off before I can really put this semi out here too far. I'm going to park it here and hope it's not too much in the way. And then we'll pull this guy up and start unloading him. I do know that combine's going to get full sooner or later here, so I want to be able to get back out there and empty it as soon as it comes around onto this straightaway here. Assuming he can make it to the corner for me. Davey, have you always used C# or did you transition from another language? So no, I actually started programming when I was like 7 in BASIC on a Commodore 64. That's my background. And then in my professional career, I've done a bit of web development. I did a bunch of C++ development back in the day. And then I moved into C# kind of in the middle of my career here, and I've done a lot of C# since. So that's a language I'm the most familiar with, but I've dabbled in a lot of other side languages, you know, like VB and Python, all kinds of stuff. And can you mod new breeds of dogs? That's a good question. I haven't played with that at all. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to do, though. This thing is starting to get full. C++ salute, that was your goal, but you stuck with Python. Yeah, Python's really useful if you want to get into the AI machine learning space nowadays. A lot of people are doing that. Mad Weasel, at least I'm not using Java. I started in Java in college. I did a lot of Java. So I've actually played with that a fair amount back in the day. Also, like a lot of people, I was into Minecraft a bit, especially when it came out, so I did some modding and stuff for that back in the day. Brian, what's my day job, or do I just do YouTube for a living? So, no, YouTube has always been more of a hobby for me. It doesn't quite, quote-unquote, pay the bills, although I've been very fortunate. We've got some really good support in the community. But my day job right now is I'm self-employed, but I do contract development for Squad Built, and we're making a mobile farming game called American Farming. So that's what I've been spending the bulk of my time on the last 2 years. Before that, I was a chief technology officer for a couple of small software companies I worked with. Towards the end of my career there, for the last several years, I worked with a private equity company and did the CTO gig for a couple of their companies. But I got tired of traveling all the time, and we ended up deciding it was a good time to part ways. Coming out of the back end of COVID, where they wanted me to start doing a bunch more traveling, and that was just not something that I was interested in. So I've been very fortunate that I'm able to, at that point, kind of go self-employed, and I use YouTube as kind of a way to augment my income, and then I do contract software development on the side right now. Mostly game development with squad building, though, which has been fun. I get to work with Grant Hilbert, aka The Squad. He's kind of a fun guy to hang out with and work with. Doesn't know a lot about software development, but that's part of what makes it fun. I get to incorporate my background in farming and my professional career in software development, mix that in with my love of video games. It's been kind of a perfect pairing up, I would say, with the squad building team and working on the American farming project. And this is not the best area of the field to try and unload on the go, but we're so full on the combine here that I'm just trying to get it to unload. When will American farming come out? It only took until over halfway through the stream to get the first question for that. The short answer is I don't know, or rather, I can't say, because I'm not allowed to. I'm under NDA, but soon, hopefully. We're working with a group of testers. We got a bunch of people testing, a lot of them from the Kedrick Farms community. I put out a blog, a post, a couple months ago now, I feel like, and we got a bunch of external testers that joined the team to get early access to the game and kind of test things out. And we've been getting a lot of great feedback from that group and fixing bugs. And so now we're just trying to get the last handful of issues kind of wrapped up, get some good testing done on that, and then we can send that off to the Google and Apple stores for approval. But yeah, it feels like every time I talk about American farming, people are asking when the release date is, and I really wish I had a date to share, but I just don't. Soon for sure, though. It's very playable at this point. I've sunk, probably 50 or 60 hours of actual playtime on my phone in the last 2 weeks while I'm out running around with the kids, waiting at different after-school activities and stuff, just doing extra testing on top of our testing team and the external beta testers that we've got. Python and R coding was hard for you to learn during your grad school days. Now I'm decent with R, can't really write your own full code, but can take other public ones and modify them for research. Yeah, and let's be honest, that's a lot of software development, is just taking some code that's there and tweaking it to make it a little bit better and do some more with it. So software development, there's some of it that's quite complicated, but a lot of it is more, don't reinvent the wheel. Just take something that works and use it for your own purposes. Got a couple friends who got into quanta research, finance industry, bit envious. Yeah. It's kind of mesmerizing watching these crops move in the wind here. They're just like subtly shifting. Mm-hmm. Brian, American farming will be the best mobile farming game. I hope so. I like a lot of what we've done. As a developer who's been working on this for a couple of years now, it's kind of hard to be objective about your own project, though. But I will say there's definitely things that I know we can still do in the game, and we have a really robust roadmap of things that we're going to do after launch in the game as well, which I can't spoil what those things are. But I can just say that we have a lot of plans to add a lot more content to the game after launch. We got to a point where you just can't keep holding up launch forever. There's always more things that you can add to a game. And so at some point you got to just draw a line in the sand and say, you know what? I think we got a really good game here. Let's get it out the door, and we'll keep adding more to it afterwards down the line. Had to do hex/machine language coding in college. I'm so old I can't remember if I liked it or not. Hey Tim, I'm with you. I did my fair share of that as well. We had to take it was called computer engineering class when I went to college for computer science, and we actually got to like code chips directly, which was a lot of fun, and so you get into a lot of hex coding and stuff. Good old days. I built a chess AI on a chip using something very close to assembly language. It was a very interesting class for sure. Dan, will there be baby animals in American farming, I assume you mean? Yes, there will be. In fact, I probably should have thought about it before I said that, but I'm pretty sure we posted about that on the official social media for American farming. So that means I can say yes. I'm saying yes because I coded those into the game, so I know they're there. And if we didn't talk about it already, Grant, don't fire me. But I'm pretty sure we posted about it. We're going to have, especially on the cow side of things, we're going to have calves that you can, on the dairy farm, start out in calf hutches and then move into the actual yard, and you have to grow them out and then eventually move them back into the dairy part of the farm. So there's going to be some more complicated livestock mechanics there, but we're still working on a lot of those kinds of things, fine-tuning them, balancing them, and stuff like that. So it's always hard to say exactly what it's going to look like once the game comes out. I'm really hugging in on this header here. I feel like I've got enough to top off this truck, and even if it's not quite topped off, it's good enough to get it moving up to the farm, especially because I feel like it's going to be in the way here when the combine gets down to this end. So I'm going to spin around real quick, see if I can minimize how much driving I do on the neighbor's field. Not that crop destruction affects the AI fields, just trying to be a polite neighbor. And then while that's going, oh, he did make the turn. Perfect. Well, as soon as he gets emptied here, we're going to take this right on over to the bins. Your curriculum was finance-based. Oh, interesting. Ever get/use the yellow EBC DIC book? Oh, the memories. Yeah, exactly. Good times there. All right, let me see if I can borderline jackknife this trailer just so I don't run over our peas here. Perfect. And I'm going to get this run over to the yard and start unloading since we got a little bit of time before that combine's going to be full now. Ag biochemist, good. That's something that FS hasn't done so well. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to make it a focus, is just having a little bit more thought put into that. So the thing I've been working on this week is actually the AI of how when a mother has a baby, like a mother cow has a baby cow, having that cow follow the mom around in the yard and doing so in a way that doesn't kill performance. But, you know, when it's walking around in the yard, in the pen, that the baby cow is following behind its mother. And so it's like those little details like that I feel like they add a lot to the visual experience of the game, which I realize it's a mobile game, so some of this stuff isn't necessarily super critical, and definitely not something we would hold up release for if that didn't work at the end of the day. But it's the little details like that makes the game feel more alive for me. And, you know, just having them visually be smaller and they grow over time is another cool aspect. Like Farm Sim, you have a bunch of baby cows and they're just all the same size in the pen as soon as you have them, where I like visually seeing a baby cow that looks like a baby cow, you know, or I keep saying baby cow, a calf, that grows up and changes as it ages. K-State, how you doing on the other side of the world there? Good morning to you, sir. We're unloading some peas. Does it have lightsabers? You know, it doesn't, but it's got a raccoon hat, so I think we've got the big Huskers corn head hat too. We could maybe think about adding a Darth Vader outfit or something for Star Wars Day. We'll have to see. Gotta be careful with that licensing. The more realistic a simulation game is, the less investment I have to do buying the real thing and going into real debt. Yeah. Yeah, that it's funny is I've spent so much time on this. One of my goals has always been to, at some point, buy a small farm and actually start farming. That was kind of my retirement dream, is to get a small farm, you know, a few hundred acres, and just farm on it for the fun of it. But I do have to say, the longer or the more time I spend working on all this farming stuff between YouTube and the software side of things with American farming, it's just I've become saturated, I guess I would say. I'm going to need to step away from all that for a little bit before I can get back to wanting to do that as a real life thing. I think I'd rather just go out and visit some people that have farms at this point, especially with the way the economy is going and seeing how hard of a time farmers are having right now with different things. It's like, maybe I'll just make some good farming friends and I'll go out and drive their stuff around. Looks like the combine's almost full, so I gotta rush to get out here. See if we can empty him out. Titan Farms Gaming, no matter what, out of all the YouTube FS22 guys, you're the man. I appreciate it. There's a lot of good content creators out there for FS22. I'm always humbled, though, with how many people like to stop in and watch my videos. Alright, looks like he's maybe cutting a new land area here. So I'm going to follow him through and see if we can unload. Solid marketing pitch for AF. Buy the product so Cutter can retire and go play in the dirt. Exactly. I just need to get better at doing video content while I'm holding a camera, and then I'll just fund a farm by doing a YouTube channel the Grant Hilbert way. Alright, let's see if I can pull this off, if this lane is long enough to unload. This auto drive window over here has been driving me absolutely nuts. Let's get rid of that while I'm thinking about it. And let's try not to run over the header. There we go. That's better. We're not quite gonna empty out the hopper here, I don't think, before the end, so maybe he'll stop, or maybe he'll just keep going. Okay, that's fine too. Got lots of missed bits here in the corners. which is kind of inevitable. We'll have to come back and clean those up. And where is this guy going now? I was kind of expecting him to do more than 2 passes there. I have no idea what's going on right now. Well, while he goes and does who knows what, let's get this truck and run it back out of the field now that it's all opened up. Going back to other YouTubers, I'm really hoping FSG has another season of Surviving Wyoming. Yeah, he did a great job on those videos. I didn't watch the whole series, but I did watch off and on. I watched some of those videos, and I have to say the thing with FSG that always impresses me is how much thought and planning he puts into his videos. He edits them up real nice, and I mean, he does it for a living. He works in marketing and has a lot of the background that goes along with that, but he just puts a lot of thought into his videos, and they're really entertaining to watch. I know he had a plan to transition into another one of those kind of survival maps, and then I think he found out that the map was doing something that violated the Giants' terms of service or something, and ended up killing that series off before he even got started. But I was really looking forward to that one because that looked like it was going to be a good series. All right, let's go ahead and stick this thing right back in this shed over here. That's where I always like to park it. And I think this is the door that has an actual button that I've got to push. Yep. Yeah, that was another feature that we added to American farming, is we've got doors and stuff on all of our sheds, and you can only open the sheds if you own that piece of property. So no cheating and using the farms if you don't own them, which I thought was kind of a fun touch to add to things on the map. He just started another survival series? Yeah, that's right. I did see that he started a new one. I'll have to check that out. I love how every survival series starts with logging, though. I'm not a huge fan of it, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't done a lot of that kind of gameplay, because I love the build up from scratch, do it the hard way type gameplay. So I might have to try that out, but instead, I don't know, give myself some really old tractor or something just so we can get right into some farming. I think Clutch has done a few of those where he's got like a horse and buggy or something that he starts with. That might be a little bit too small for me, but I like the survival mentality. I just hate the logging part of it. I've had enough logging for a lifetime after we tried to do that staff role-playing series. Oh, I missed it. There we go. We're going to force him to wait because these are such short rows that if I try to catch him and unload on the go, we'll never get him unloaded. Can I roughly disclose the size of the code base for American Farming? Man, I honestly don't even know, because Unity is weird that way, in which it's it uses what they call a component-driven model. And so we have all these little pieces, and a lot of what would normally be code ends up inside of these Unity components. And so it'd be really hard to calculate easily, but it's pretty big. I've worked on some big projects, and there's a lot of different pieces. It's very object oriented, so you end up with a lot of extra lines of code and such because of that. Is this map on all platforms? It is on all platforms. This is Edgewater, Saskatchewan, and you can download it off the in-game mod hub. Oh no, I'm gonna load the truck on the wrong side. Oh, the brakes. Man, I'm having a hard time with the braking and gearing here. There we go. Yeah, Tim, you've got me curious now. I'm gonna have to see if I can put it through, like, I guess the standard is, you know, lines of code analyzer to see if I can come up with a general complexity rating for the American farming code base. I'm curious. I'm gonna have to look at that. K-State, come to Thailand. That's on my wife's short list of places that she wants to visit. She's got a friend who either bought or rents a place out there. Started during COVID, went out there and rented a place to get away from things, and then liked it so much that she goes back there for several months out of the year and has lots of good things to say. So I need to make my way out there at some point. All right, let's jump over here. We've been running the grain cart and the semi around long enough. I think it's time we took over from Courseplay for a bit. And we'll finish up this field manually. I think we'll probably be able to do a faster job of it. We've got a lot of little tidbits in the corners and stuff that we've got to pick up as we go through this all. Let me know. He'll take you to the in-laws farm here. Nice. Yeah, I would love to make my way out there. And one of the fun things about getting to travel to a bunch of different places around the world is checking out the farming practices in places when I visit. I was out in the UK this summer for a week, a little over a week. And while I didn't get to visit a farm to check out the farm, it was a barn wedding on an active farm, so I did get to kind of walk around and look at stuff, which was just fun for me. My first time being on a real farm in the UK, and I've spent a bunch of time in Germany when I was younger and gotten to see a lot of stuff out there. And I spent a lot of time in Eastern Europe, specifically places like Belarus and Ukraine. I've gotten to see a bit of the farming in both of those countries. So I'm looking forward to, at some point, adding on to that list and getting to visit some more countries and checking out how they do farming, because I have found everywhere in the world does things just a bit different. Tim, you think your product has at least 700,000 lines of code? Interesting. Yeah, again, I would have to run ours through an analyzer, because I feel like, especially with some of the additional third-party components that we leverage, we're way above that. And the thing with these third-party components is, for better or worse, in Unity, they become often more of an open source type deal, and we've had to heavily modify some of them to get them to do what we want to do, which essentially means you inherit all of their code and complexity as well. Yeah, I've been really curious to check out this dairy that you've been working on over there, because it sounds like quite the operation. All right, let's see. We've got all of this bits done. Let's come over and knock these pieces out real quick. Oops, forgot to set the cruise control before I took my foot off the gas pedal. Silly me. Ag biochemist, that's cool. I got to experience some international farming and their government policies as a part of a AFA capstone. I went to the Netherlands. Oh yeah, Netherlands is crazy because they've got a lot of restrictions and things, I think even above and beyond the general EU from what I remember hearing. But yeah, the government policies on farming is very interesting in different parts of the world. It's very different. Johnny Popper, when you decide to do your super realistic first person series, you need to check out the work camera mod. It makes plowing and planting and seeding a breeze first person because you can see the whole implement. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I need to get the eye tracker set back up. I had that up and working. It was working great. I really liked it for certain things. I know I wouldn't use it all the time because I think it'd be a little disorienting in videos for people. But there were some things I really liked about that when I was in first person mode. But unfortunately, it's not hooked up at all at the moment. I had a problem with the adhesive on the TV I hooked it up to, and then I moved a bunch of stuff around, and I don't have a USB slot for it next to the setup that I have right now anymore, so I need to get that sorted out. Can you get peas on other maps such as UMRV? You can, but it would require a bit of modding to do. The crop has to get added into the map on the back end along with all of the textures for it. So it's not really hard to do, but it does take a little bit of effort to get that added into a map. And there's some caveats to that, like assuming the map doesn't already have too many crop types and things like that, but you can get around most of that pretty easily. But again, it just requires a little bit of modding knowledge and a lot of editing the XML files from the maps. It's not something that I've ever done and been comfortable with making those kind of changes, but there are some tutorials out there for doing that stuff. Of course, with your expertise, you can add it to the mod tractors. Fortunately, I'm not that talented, so I have to use the base game tractors. Yeah, I would have to look if it's something that you have to edit the vehicle for to add it in. That might slow me down a little bit. It's stuff like that where it's not so much that I can't do it, it's that I just don't have the time to do these edits to things like I used to when I was in FS19. I was editing stuff all the time, you know, adding the sprayer section control mod and things like that to whatever sprayer I wanted to use. And now it's like, well, you know, that would take me 1 to 2 hours to do, but I just don't have 1 to 2 hours anymore. Dan, I'm not sure what new map you're talking about. Let's see, we're 72% full. I'm gonna just keep going straight here and take out this section because then I don't have to turn around right away. So we're having fun playing and talking about farming. I'm starting a postdoctorate fellowship with the USDA ARS in a few weeks on cotton seeds. Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah, ag science is a really fascinating field. It's funny, I'll say this as, you know, somebody who's been in computer science and, you know, a lot of management stuff, but I just don't feel like I'm smart enough to do some of the stuff that you guys are working on in that field. There's just so much to keep track of, and it's changing so fast. I feel like you're, you know, always on the edge of something new that's going on in that field, and that you've got to always just stay in front of it, where you know, they like to say that about software development, but in reality, you know, I feel like things change, you know, over the course of a year or two. They don't change nearly as fast as some of these other science spheres. Nicholas Gamble, Diane's talking about the game you are making. Oh, with the baby animals. Oh, that's American Farming. That's going to be available on Android and iOS. That is a mobile-only game that we're currently developing and will hopefully be releasing soon. We'll see. I think we've got 3 major issues left to solve, and then we can release. Living, am I saying they're outstanding in their fields? I am. That's a good one. It's crazy fast. Yeah, the companies are starting to patent gene-edited seeds for sale. Yeah, exactly. It's just... stuff is changing so fast. Alright, I've got a nearly full combine here. I'm going to try and back this thing up alongside the semi. Looks like we started loading the back hopper first. That's alright. And then while this is unloading, I'm going to jump around a bunch of times here. Oh, this thing is empty, actually. Well, here I thought I had half a grain cart sitting out here waiting to get unloaded. Should do a video on your game settings / graphics settings for FS22. You know, I really should. I need to get better. I need to set my live streaming up in a way that I'm recording while I'm streaming so I can take bits out of a live stream and turn those into videos easier. Because in one of my past live streams, I went through all of my graphics settings and explained how I get everything set up, because one of the things people notice the most in my videos is you don't see the crop circle until you get way out, like past those trees out there. You can see where the crop changes from green to kind of a bluish teal color. And that's because I really cranked those settings up in the XML file to be way higher than what you can do by just editing your settings in game. And people really liked that when I went through all those settings in detail. So I need to turn that into a dedicated video at some point here, just because I know there's other people out there who want to know how I did that and how a lot of those settings work. Because I think there's a misunderstanding about how some of the settings actually work for graphics settings. And I guess that's one of those things as a game developer. Maybe I have a little bit more insight into how some of those things work. But yeah, that's a great suggestion. I will add that to the queue of videos that we'll work on here at some point. Chugga, have I played American Farming yet? Yeah, I've played it probably more than any other person in the world, given that I'm one of the core developers on it for the last 2 years. K-State is free or priced. I assume you're talking about American Farming. It will be a paid game, so no wonky, free to play stamina, things like that. So it is just going to be a paid game. We will have some DLCs and things that you can buy outside of the base game, but the game itself and all the core mechanics are just going to be part of the game. It'll be less than $10. I don't know exactly where it's going to be priced, but, I think we're shooting for definitely under $10. Should make the game run smoother. Do you think an RTX 3060 could handle the 300% plus crop circle? I don't know. I mean, I'm running on a 4090, and I've got it turned up to 400%, I think. I actually don't remember off of the top of my head. Oh, why did I turn it off? It was already running. Sugar, I figured that, but I didn't know which part of the programming you were in. Yeah, we've only got like 3 what I would call normal devs working on the project. I don't know. We've got about 12 people working on various things right now on the squad build side. But yeah, I'm one of the core gameplay devs. I have worked on just about every aspect of the game in some capacity at this point. What I'm looking forward to the most is when the game comes out, I'm planning on doing some like tutorial videos and stuff, because I like doing tutorials. I've always kind of found those type of videos to be fun to create, and especially if it's a topic that I know a lot about. And what I'm looking forward to the most is putting out a tutorial video, and you always get those people in the comments that try to tell you you're wrong. And I can't wait for the first time somebody does that, and I'll be like, well, actually, I'm the game developer, so I'm pretty sure I'm right. Now, let's see how many peas we ended up with here. I've got 97,000 liters of peas in here, which is pretty good, because I think we said this was a 100,000 liter bin. Let's just go look, because I'm super curious. Silos. Where'd they go? I go past them already. 130,000. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm glad we put them in the smaller bin rather than wasting one of our larger bins. I want to say canola is the one that we've got to hold on to a larger bin for. However, I think we're probably going to wrap it up here. I know we've got one more field we could go start harvesting. We did both of the pea fields here. I've got this big lentils field up there that we could go get started on. But I think this is going to be a great place to wrap up our live stream for today. And we will be back with more Edgewater later in the week here. I don't know exactly what my schedule is going to be, because it's just been so crazy the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I am also trying to get my second YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to help me out, head on over to the Ketter Builds channel and hit that subscribe button for me. That would be great. And I'll be back with another live stream most likely on Thursday here on the Ketter Farms channel. We'll probably either be doing more Edgewater, or we might check out a new map. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if I can find a map that I can get things set up for by Thursday. And don't forget, tomorrow we've got the next UMRV video coming out. It is episode 50 in that series. And yeah, you can come laugh at me as I figure out that we don't have anywhere near enough food to feed all of our cows. It's going to be a blast. But thank y'all for coming and hanging out tonight. It's been awesome, and we're gonna call it here, folks. That's all for today. Ketterk out. Maybe? I can't end my stream. I guess I'm here all night. I can't find the end stream button.